Hi everybody, I'm back with another unboxing video. Today I've got the Tarot Mucha. This is a low Scarabeo deck. It's in a very nice box. The artwork is not actually the artwork of Alfonse Mucha, but it was inspired by him. And I love the style because it's not his actual artwork. I kind of hesitated about purchasing this deck, but I decided to go ahead and do it. I like most of the cards, not all of them, but you know, there's no deck where you really like all the cards. Unfortunately, if I ever found that deck, my search would be over for the perfect tarot deck. But let's see. The artwork is by Giulia Massalia and Barbara Nocenzo. So a couple of artists were involved, and they drew images and colored them in the Art Nouveau style of Alfonse Mucha. He's a Czech artist who inspired this deck. My mother is Slovak, so I kind of understood the pronunciation of the name as Mucha. It's sort of a ha. That's how everything was pronounced growing up in my mother and grandmother's conversations. So Tarot Mucha, or Mucha. This box is actually wonderful. Look at this box. Very sturdy. Very nice. And I love the image on the front. The side has got a beautiful image. Looks like a hermit here on the back. Stunning. Alright, so now that we've removed it from its container, a very nice home for this deck, which I think is going to be absolutely beautiful. Let us take a look at the book. Cards, of course, are still wrapped. The book is by Nouveau Weatherstone. She's produced several tarot decks. Nouveau Weatherstone, Massimiliano Filodoro, Giulia Massalia, and Barbara Nocenzo. Tarot Mucha. Oh, nice little book. So they're billing this deck as an extraordinary tribute to the art of Alfonse Mucha and to the tarot masters of the past. I'd be curious to know if Alfonse Mucha actually had an interest in tarot. That would be very interesting to know. So, of course, as we have in all our Low Scarabeo booklets, we've got the information in many different languages. Nature is a temple in which living pillars sometimes give voice to confused words. Man passes here through forests of symbols which look at him with understanding eyes. Baudelaire from Correspondences. Let's see, so there's a little introduction, and I don't want to read it all to you. That would be much too boring and too time-consuming, more than boring. Alfonse Mucha stands out as one of the most important figures of this movement, which is Belle Epoque, the beautiful era. And the style of Art Nouveau, a new art, was spreading through Europe. So Mucha stands out as one of the most important figures of this movement, for he had spent his entire life in this artistic philosophy long before it became the fashion. Indeed, Mucha never called himself an Art Nouveau artist, even though it is most often his work that comes to mind when the term is used. In the true Art Nouveau spirit, Mucha did not limit his art to painting. His gifts embrace sculpture, jewelry, stained glass, interior design, and above all, theater. So it's a style. Mystery is reflected in the beauty of the women in Mucha's posters. They are dreamy and distant, like emanations from a different plane of existence. It doesn't matter if these diaphanous goddesses bear the likeness of the famous stage actress Sarah Bernhardt, the model for Mucha's most famous posters, or are used to advertise cigarettes or beer. They are priestesses offering initiation into an aesthetic cult. So, inspired by Mucha, but not drawn by him. We have a little bit of information on using the cards. Minors, majors, shuffling, dealing. When you are gazing at the image, let it speak to you. It is one of the great pleasures of working with tarot to always find new meaning, even in the most familiar of cards. So we have some brief descriptions of the major arcana. We don't have any card images in the book. And I think that's probably going to be all. We have major and minor arcana, a few sentences, key ideas for the cards. And then we have the same information in some different languages. So in this deck we see they use for the court cards knave, knight, queen, and king. Okay, well, even though it's an original art deck, so I should be excited about that. But I kind of would have preferred to actually have a deck of his actual work kind of translated into tarot, but this may be even better. Let's keep positive. I know I've seen quite a few of the images before, and they're really beautiful. And since this gentleman that inspired the deck is a compatriot of my mother's family, I figured I owed it to myself to go ahead and pick up the deck. So here we have the title card, Tarot Mucha. And let's go through the cards here. The cardstock is lovely. It's not real thin, but not too thick either. It's flexible. It could be shuffled, I'm sure. Let's see. Oh yeah, this would easily be shuffleable. And let's take a look at the card backs. It's the beautiful image that we saw on the box. Same image, a little more elaborate with the border framing it. So not reversible. The card backs are not reversible if that's important to you. Here is 0. Now it does not list the card title, only the number, so you would have to, of course, know that 0 is the Fool. 1, the Magician. Love this Magician card. Here is the High Priestess. As you can see, the deck is not only true to the art of Mucha, but it's also true to the Rider-Waite style. We've got the two alternating or two contrasting pillars there, Severity and Mercy, with the Kabbalah references. She's holding this book in her hand, the moon on her head, High Priestess. Next we have the Empress. It's a beautiful Empress card. Oh my gosh, the art in these cards is just stunningly beautiful. The whole reason I brought the deck was for this artwork, because I'm not that great of a fan of Rider-Waite. I love the Art Nouveau style. I love the wheat behind her, the Venus symbol. She's in the outdoors. There's water. Really pretty. Next we have the Emperor. I don't know that Mucha actually ever painted an older gentleman like this. Probably not, but of course you need one for your Emperor, so there he is. He's got his orb and his scepter, the rams on the throne. He's standing rather than as you usually would see the Emperor seated on a throne. Here is the Hierophant, a very traditional Rider-Waite image. We've got the supplicants in front of him. Keys. He's got the, I'm not sure what you even call this symbol. I haven't studied up too thoroughly on my symbolism of Rider-Waite. Okay, next we have the Lovers. Got the angel behind. Nice Lovers card. The Chariot. Looks very traditionally Rider-Waite, even to the point of sphinxes, no reins. The canopy of stars over the driver. The medieval town in the background. It's very, very similar. The shield on the front, the winged shield. Then we have Strength. Beautiful, just beautiful. The Hermit, which of course is one of the featured cards in this deck, also on the box, the Hermit. It's beautiful. I love the pensive look on her face. Looks like a woman. I don't know. It could be a man. Could be something androgynous. The Hermit. The Wheel. Again, we have a beautiful wheel card here. We've got the idea of time with the hourglass. We've got a wheel here, and she's also holding a wheel of flowers. So there's the wheel. Next we have Justice. Another image that was chosen for the box. I love the confidence that this woman exudes. It's a beautiful, beautiful Justice card. One of the prettiest I've ever seen. Here we have the Hanged Man. The sun behind his head. And number 13, Death. With the idea of rebirth in the background here. Temperance. It's a lovely Temperance card. The Devil. I actually really like this Devil card. It's really cool. Look, she's got a devil tail. So the devil can be something beautiful and enticing, beguiling. The normally chained people in front of the devil, in this case she's holding them. Sort of a supportive gesture. Very interesting card, very cool. I love this devil card. So see, there were several cards in this deck that just convinced me to buy it. Not every card, but quite a few that were just delightful. Here we have the Tower. This Star card is another one that is just stunning. The Star. I am in love with that Star card. The Moon. It's another one that's just very special. It's got the drops, raindrops, the water, the two towers. No lobster, no wolf and dog. We have a lady. Here's the sun. Oh, unfortunately we happened to, even though we gave up the wolf and dog on the moon card, we kept the baby on the horseback for the sun. So, you know, pretty typical. Nothing too exciting there. Now this card, Judgment. That's a pretty severe looking angel there. Rather than calling them to an awakening, she looks like she or he is very punishing, like an Old Testament sort of a image. So not my favorite Judgment card, but I'd seen it before and I knew what I was getting. So here's the World. This is beautiful. I love this World card. We've got representations of air, fire, earth, and water. The emotional human, I suppose, represents water in this deck. Okay. Suit of Cups, Ace of Cups, absolutely gorgeous, very Rider-Waite. Hard to improve on that type of an image. Two of Cups, another very typical Rider-Waite image. Three of Cups. The coloration in these cards is just wonderful. Look how beautiful that is. I love this sort of, it's pastel yet it's vibrant. Four of Cups. Five of Cups. Six of Cups. So as you can see, this deck would be very easy to read with. It's very, if you're familiar with Rider-Waite, you would have no trouble whatsoever. Here's the sevens. 7 cups with 7 different choices there. 8 of Cups, walking away. 9 of Cups, great fulfillment and happiness. 10 of Cups. Next we get into the court cards, which, I've already forgotten what they were, and they're not, well, they've got the symbol there on his status, and according to the book, that is the knave. So the knave has a helmet, the knight has a horse head, and the queen and king have crowns. So that'll be kind of hard for me to remember, because to me that would be more associated with the knight. Anyway, we could just say it's the Page of Cups and be done with it, but we're calling it a knave in this deck, even though it's not marked on here as knave. Here is the Knight. Knight of Cups. Boy, that's a beautiful Knight of Cups. Love it. Here we have the beautiful Queen of Cups. Lovely card. King of Cups. Ace of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles. I really like this Two of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles. Looks like it was right from Rider-Waite. Four of Pentacles. Another very, almost an exact replica. Five. We've got the destitute beggar out in the snow outside the church. Six of Pentacles. Distribution of the wealth. Redistributing. Very politically correct these days. Seven of Pentacles. Growth beginning to become realized from your endeavors. The Eight. Expert craftsmanship. Nine of Pentacles. Beautiful. The Ten of Pentacles. I don't know, this card doesn't give me the typical impression that a Ten of Pentacles normally does. I don't know, I can't put my finger on it. It looks like there's more to this than happiness and fulfillment. These people look like they're expecting something, or they're needing or wanting something. So I don't know. But anyway, that's the Ten of Pentacles in this deck. Here we have the Knave, or the Page. Got kind of an Asian inspired flair there with the turban and the pointy-toed shoes. The Knight of Pentacles. Very unusual from behind, we're watching as he's looking back at us. I like that. Unique. I like something different. Queen of Pentacles. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful card. I love this. And the King of Pentacles. So this is the Ace of Staves. Two of Staves. Very typical, although it's a woman instead of a man. Three of Staves. Four of Staves. That's a beautiful Four of Staves. Five of Staves. Six. I don't know, the horse isn't really convinced that he's the victor. Six of Staves. Seven of Staves. Eight of Staves. The Nine of Staves. And the Ten of Staves. I'm rather more fond of this 9 and 10 of Staves than most Rider-Waite decks that I've seen. Okay, the Knave of Staves. Knight of Staves. Good job on that one. He's really energetic and ambitious. The Queen of Staves. And the King of Staves. And the final suit of swords. Here we have the Ace of Swords in the Mucha deck. Very beautiful. Two of Swords. Three of Swords. That triple heart piercing thing that goes back all the way back to Solabusca Tarot in the 1400s. I'm not too wild about that pierced heart image. Here we have the Four of Swords. Recuperation, regeneration, rest, regrouping. Five of Swords. Six of Swords. Seven of Swords. The Eight of Swords. Nine of Swords. Ten of Swords. Ay, ay, ay. Lovely. Something every querent wants to see in their reading. Here we have the Knave of Swords, the Knight of Swords, the Queen of Swords, and last but not least, the King of Swords. Love the birds in the background. So I hope you've enjoyed this real quick deck walkthrough. I'm glad that I bought this deck, even though it's a Rider-Waite clone. I normally wouldn't want to be collecting many more Rider-Waite clones than I've already gotten, but for the artwork and the beauty of the cards, I decided to go with this deck. So let me know your thoughts in the comments, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a good evening. Good night.